Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is many a true nerd, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas Autumn Leaves, a big Fallout murder mystery RPG thing that's just my cup of tea. And we have got ourselves, well, as you might have guessed from what I just said there, a murder to solve. A man who has died, and unfortunately there's a few things that are suspicious about the death, like he wasn't actually strong enough to pull over the cabinet that potentially killed him, or potentially the star that I now know belongs to Roland, or a dose of Medex that was handled by probably Roland or James, unless of course Helena's lying to me. Ooh, we've got stuff to get on with here. And thanks also to the people who pointed out the clues that I actually missed. So for example, yeah, books, big books with light blue spines appear to be special books. So we've got ourselves, yeah, Ignatius Payne, a case study. Pick that up. And we have got ourselves an actual bit of special text here. So nothing much yet, but this is -1, so presumably there's more to come. A man who during the Civil War, yeah, sustained a horrendous injury, shrapnel in his skull, wasn't expected to live, but we don't know. Oh, yes we do, there's more pages, fine. So yeah, after the accident, his personality changed, he became violent, he couldn't express himself with words anymore. Keep that in mind, thematically, it might become important later. And yeah, we've got more of those books dotted around the library. Would you believe in the library-based mod, I need to actually keep an eye on the flipping books? But some of them just actually count towards a book collector achievement, little books. So let's see if these books are actually anything other than... No, I'm just picking up these books, fine. So some of them give you text, some of them you just pick up. Though they don't appear to be appearing inside my miscellaneous section, so I'm not quite sure where they are. We've also got ourselves, yeah, another log from Dexter I just completely overlooked. A guy who, yeah, lived in the vault at some point, but we don't exactly know when. Except this is odd. It's quiet.
And with Knight Erickson on top of that. But I have good hope. I will find something actually useful down here. Finding this place is just my luck, and the perfect opportunity to shine.
I'm not sure whether that was supposed to fail or not at the beginning, but down here, suggesting the basement, and can't help but see Vault Tech kind of briefcase here. Alright, there's a lot more we might need to pay attention to. Now, picking up on the clues I got last time, let's start off in the assistance room with Arthur. Because Helena said that sometimes she actually overheard Cartwright calling him Johnson, suggesting that all of these people might have been based on real people that Cartwright knew. And indeed, we do actually know, I think from something that Arthur himself said, that there was supposed to be, yeah, 4 other chief people who were like friends of Cartwright, that he was actually putting together this, ooh, activate biology. Okay, fine, what have you. Possibly that just means this is the biology shelf. But yeah, there were 4 other people that were the main people he was friends with, and now there are 4 main robots, suggesting possibly, yeah, the robots are supposed to be based on real people. So let's see if we can get any connection going on here between Arthur and Johnson. Here we go, we can ask him more stuff as well, but let's start off with Johnson. But he's not willing to say anything to that. We know we need to ask him open-ended questions. We know this.
A writer of great renown had it all. Friends, family, wealth. He wondered why he couldn't write anymore. He despaired. He cried. He drank. Why? He yelled, while tossing away heaps of single-worded scripts. Why can't I write anymore? It's simple, my dear, said his wife, freshly awoken. You're not suffering enough. She added, I can help you with that.
And suddenly the game went a little bit on the Alan Wake side. Fine. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to fit into Rollo yet, but let's move on to Helena.
Once upon a time, a child had a music box he held very dear, though he loved nothing more than hearing the box's sweet melody. He wanted to know how its mechanisms worked. He knew that by breaking open the box, he could have a glimpse of what was inside, and perhaps even a bit comprehend how it worked. Of course, He feared he couldn't repair it afterwards, opening the box and risking to break it, or leaving it the way it was. Eventually, the child would make his choice.
Now that one fits into Helena a bit more easily, because yeah, Helena told us that she was interested in psychology, but couldn't understand it. She loves humans and wants to understand them, but being an AI, it's hard for her to really get inside their heads. Which, if you apply it to humans, might become a little bit on the concerning side. And yeah, Piper, potentially my chief suspect if it was a person, not a robot.
There are two kinds of poisons. Those that don't kill you and make you stronger, and the others.
Alright, nothing much there. Now, of course, someone made the excellent point that inside the room I was given, I kind of speculated that potentially Piper was a raider, because there was a Raider Blastmaster helmet thing. But of course, that might have just been supposed to be like, you know, a generic blast mask, and that's the only type that was available in the actual game assets. So given the handyman jumpsuit being there as well, it's arguably a lot more likely that she was actually supposed to be like a repair person, a mechanic of some description anyway. Oh, and I just said hello to James, and apparently Treat Me Nice is completed, presumably, because, yeah, I went and spoke to all the other robots he suggested I go and meet. And would you believe, as usual, he's got more flipping questions.
Some years ago, two people came here. The first one wore some kind of purple robes. The second had heavy armor. Military.
Fine, the Brotherhood.
From what I could gather, they were on some kind of scouting mission. The robed one, Dexter, really did extensive research. Consulted a great deal of books, but never told me what he was looking for exactly. As to whether they found something, I can't say. They stayed for 3 weeks and they were just gone.
And now all of a sudden, this has got a lot more interesting. So Dexter was supposed to be a scribe for the Brotherhood. Meanwhile, well actually, how long ago was this? I guess, Brotherhood had been here a while because there was the NCR Brotherhood War, so fine, this could still have been quite a while ago. And the other one, Erickson, was probably a paladin trying to keep him safe. Fine, so that's a useful bit of information. Now, what exactly do you want me to do about that there, James?
I would like you to see if you can find anything out about them. They left in such a hurry that I had no time to ask what they intended to do with their knowledge of this place. Maybe they forgot something. They did not even tell me if they learned something useful.
Yeah, I'd be a bit worried if I were you. Brotherhood coming across, talking robots and repositories of knowledge, they'll be back and in force, potentially. And yeah, that actually potentially happens in the library. You're allowed to guard the library. This strikes me as something you could do within your protocols.
I don't know how to put this. We lost both keys to their room. So maybe there's something in it, maybe not. I have no way to be sure. My siblings told me I was overacting when I suggested blowing up the doors to get inside. Besides, Roland has the final word when it comes to the living quarters. You can probably guess what his answer was.
Alright, so yeah, we heard about that in the tape. The keys were lost. But if I could locate the keys, that'd be fine. And why would you assume they left something behind? That was an odd phrasing.
Because they did. Dexter liked to record his observations at the first opportunity. It is something we strongly encourage our guests to do, and to share with us for survey reasons. We didn't expect that he would record so many, though. Worst thing is, he left them scattered all over the place. No, wait. The real worst thing was that there wasn't any relevant information on these.
Okay, so yeah, the tapes. I found 3 of them so far, but I think I actually haven't found number 1. But why is it that important? Like, you've implied you've had guests coming in and out in the past. Why are you so concerned about these ones who are already gone?
Yeah, it's a big deal. We had to deal with some rough situations in the past. We are trying to learn from our mistakes. It's pretty important for me, for us, to know how outside people perceive this place, and what they intend to do with what they learned here.
Okay, that's a fair answer as well. And yeah, the rough situation is presumably the raiders that were mentioned to me by Helena, where yeah, you guys have got protocols not to hurt humans, but also protocols to protect the library. Once upon a time, those two came into conflict, and you were actually allowed to overrule your protocol to not hurt humans in order to kill some raiders. So, referring to something else here, or are you referring to that?
We once received a visit from a group of slavers. They had been tipped off by one of our previous guests, who told them that there was food and shelter here. Things got quickly out of hand. We had to drive them off, violently. We had to seal this place off for a few months, the time to let things blow off. Calm down.
Okay, intriguing, and yeah, give me something to start with. Any chance you gonna give me the first holotape right now?
Roland should know which room those two were occupying. There might be something there. A note, or a recording on what they thought about this place.
Alright, so you haven't got anything for me, but potentially I can talk Roland into cooperating. Gotcha. And yeah, sorry to be mercenary about this, but I completed that first quest and I'm not actually sure I got any XP from this, so what's in it for me?
Ah, compensation. Well, there are some popular books we try to keep out of everyone's hands, mainly because their main appeal is military knowledge, and it's something we're so fond of promoting. We could print you copies if you wish.
Ah, skill books, I'm guessing. Lovely. And that begins the quest down in the valley. So I'm going to guess that, yeah, sooner or later, that is going to bring me... Oh, hang on. In one holotape, you learn that Dexter's cohort lost both keys. Yep, find one of the keys. So I'm already one step ahead of this quest, because I've actually been looking at all of these. But I've already had a pretty darn good look around. Question is, where would a key be hidden where I haven't already seen it? Well, let's start off in the rooms where we know they did actually visit, the rooms where we found the tapes, because at least then we know they were there. And of course, someone pointed out to me, I somehow managed to overlook a giant pile of holotapes, presumably empty holotapes, right? Yeah, these guys don't actually give me any logs or anything. If I just quickly pick through these, being careful not to hammer A too fast in case there's something else there. Or in fact, one of these holotapes does have something on it. Looks actually like... Yeah, what's this pile of stuff for? Intriguing. Fine. Ah, I was back in the systems room just because I did have a feeling, yeah, if there's going to be one place the Brotherhood are going to go, it's the database. Tell me something about Dexter that might give me an idea where to find the keys.
He was the kind of man who praised butterflies for being gorgeous, yet crushed caterpillars out of disgust.
Okay, that wasn't that useful for locating a key, to be honest. And yeah, give me your take on the incident. And on that, nothing. Ah, this is interesting. Behind Roland, there's a book. It's not a pre-war book. It's a ledger. Ah! Piper. Room 3, Darren. Room 6, Cecilia. Room 5, Dexter and Roger Erickson. Fine, so Erickson's first name is Roger. Room 2, skin cancer. Okay, intriguing. And there's a few more books as well. Lovely. Ah, and there's audio log 1 right here on the couch. Lovely. Together with a... Okay, fine, I'll take this as a position. And the book was apparently also special as well. And that is one of just the blue back books. Lovely. So just gathering them for some form of little achievement. Now, this log, let's see if that works.
One thing is for sure. We are leaving tomorrow. Our stay here has been utterly pointless, and Knight Roger hasn't been the most helpful auxiliary. It is rather safe to say that his main preoccupations were playing the pool table and stuffing himself with pre-war food.
Playing the pool table, stuffing himself with pre-war foods. Okay. That sounds like that might be of interest, because we haven't actually done anything with the games room just yet. So how about we have a little look-see at the actual table here. Just on the off chance, because that feels like a clue to me. Aha! Oh no, that's a printing card. Boo! I thought I was so damn clever there for a second. Well, I'd say a fairly thorough search, including literally going through every cubicle in the damn place, has not yielded the keys yet in any of the locations where, yeah, the audio tapes indicate they were. So I'm going to see if I can just potentially talk round Roland instead. Here we go. Roland, tell me more about Dexter and Roger.
Yeah, exactly. What is the deal about them?
And go on, just be a little bit more specific here. Except, hang on, we know how to deal with this guy. At least Helena gave us some tips. don't, like, get angry with him, or he'll just basically consider he's winning and keep doing it. Although, actually, why don't you let James into the living quarters?
Why don't I? Because James has to learn how to let it go, buddy. Get busy living or get busy dying is one of my favorite movies used to say. You know, movies. Ugh, never mind.
Right, once again, he's not really willing to tell me much.
Yes?
And yeah, where's their room? Yeah, where's the key? Go on, where's the key?
No.
And indeed, nothing useful. And yeah, the holotapes. Any chance you've got a comment on that?
Huh? What was that? My hearing's getting a little fuzzy in my old, try again?
I hate Roland so much.
No.
And at this time, he's just willing to say no. Marvelous.
How about this? I propose a game. You give me a weapon repair kit, and I'll give you the first hint, which might lead you to where the caps are.
Alright, we've got something useful from Roland there. And, oh, I've got high enough intelligence, so I might not need to bother, though I do actually have some weapon repair kits on me. But I'll try the intelligence first.
Alright, let's be honest here. You humans, deep down, always know better, but you always choose to do the wrong thing anyways. Oh yeah, I know all about it. Besides, this isn't about how clever you are, it's about how foolish you can be.
Alright, well, here's the weapon repair kit regardless. Though I'm a bit worried I'm giving you this. I'm pretty confident in a fight I could take ya.
Excellent. So yeah, that little hint. Here it is. Time to go drop the kids off at the pool.
Okay, so something to do with a bathroom there. Okay. Cap, something to do with the bathroom. You are a very annoying robot, by the way. I've just found it on my second pass, and I swear that was not here. That was not here a second ago. I literally went around checking all of the pockets. That was not there. I think that might have bugged out for a second, but we've got the cocking key. It was indeed as I originally suspected in the pool room, but yes, New Vegas being New Vegas, sometimes objects just slightly freak out and end up slightly out of bounds or inside other objects, which I strongly suspect just happened there. Still, with the key, that gets us into, I'm pretty sure it was 5. In we go. Now watch out, because Brotherhood are probably not above potentially booby trapping. No. All seems fine for now, and they did indeed get quite a nice room, albeit one without a toilet, which is unfortunate. Now, anything we can learn about you two bastards right here? Dresser, just basic stuff, probably came with the room, in fact, because I think that's the same stuff that was available in mine. Nothing in the desk. Fine. Audio log. Now, this will be the interesting one. Let's see what we've got going on down here.
How the old world managed to waste so many resources on vapid enterprises is beyond me. What is the point of keeping a record on all these useless topics? This isn't a library. It's a graveyard for pointless knowledge. Give me a year, and I'll sort out the 100, no, say, 50 books worth keeping, while we cremate the rest and make room for a new chapter. The stupidity of these pre-war novels, in particular, are just too much for me to endure. I am still waiting for their database. What was the name of this wretched thing already? Arthur. To come up with actually valuable information.
Fine, so the Brotherhood, as you'd expect, had a bit of an interest more so in military knowledge and found most of this not that useful. And in fact, would potentially be interested in just straight up, kicking most of it out, burning it down, in order to use this as a rather solid base for a Brotherhood chapter. Oh dear. Still, James was the one that asked me to find that information, so James, I've got what you want, but it ain't exactly good news.
I wanted to ask, what is scratching an itch like? How would you rate it?
Oh, 10 out of 10. It's absolutely flipping beautiful. And 5 out of 5, yeah, it's really good.
As factual as it gets.
No worries, James. Now, let's get to what you wanted me to do. And bad news, I'm afraid.
Oh dear. I'll need much time to digest this.
And yes, indeed, I've got... Ooh! I actually got XP for that quest. Nice! I swear that didn't happen previously. And Jag, give me what you promised.
Please, take this. You can cash in the study room. It's the room on the southeast where our master sleeps. Come back and tell me when you want to give me a hand with another guest.
Guest? And he gave me 5 printing cards, I see. Now,
How may I
what
help?
other guest exactly are we talking about? Yeah, what can I help you with?
There is another guest I want you to investigate. Darren Andretti. On many regards, he was one of the most interesting guests we've had. But because of messy circumstances, I couldn't make a proper debrief with him.
Alright, messy circumstances.
One night he became so badly drunk he began throwing insults at the books, us, and our mother. While the experience was very enriching from a vocabulary standpoint, we ultimately had to stop him before he blew up the entire bibliographies with C4.
And yeah, what happened then? How did you get him out?
Well, he ended up being banned from this place. One of the rare times we had to resort to banishment. We feared he'd come back at us with a vengeance, so we confiscated a lot of his explosives and left him with but a few weapons. So the fact that he might reach the closest community, we offered him some valuables to somewhat compensate the prejudice.
And yeah, what exactly did he want to destroy?
Economy, social studies, cognitive sciences, cybernetics. It barely made sense to us, but it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. Picked books in separate shelves, rounded them up, packed them with C4.
Okay, and do you have any idea who he was?
A prospector, a raider, we were never quite sure on which side he was walking. What we did realize, however, is that he is extremely eager to educate himself and learn to read and write. We were all surprised by his sudden burning passion for literature, except Helena. For some reason, she hasn't the right to disclose that information to us.
Patient-doctor confidentiality, and I'm guessing you want in his room, but besides that, anything you can tell me?
He'd like to take long walks throughout the whole facility, and outside as well. He also spent a lot of time with Helena. She won't tell me much. God knows I asked her to talk about him. She wouldn't answer. Patient-therapist confidentiality.
Fine, so I guessed so, and the room as well, of course.
For all I know, he began keeping some kind of diary during his sojourn here. He said it was good writing exercise for him. Finding it could be a start. I will give you the key. He threw it at my face instead of giving it back to Roland.
Oh, well that's just bloody convenient. Thank you very, very much indeed.
And for this, you are to be commended and rewarded.
Alright, got myself a key, and I've got nothing to report yet. But I can't help but notice, during the background of that conversation, Roland's hint up in the trees. What exactly is this? Hang the flip on here.
Oh, you're persistent. I like that. There's a key to the laundry room somewhere in the world. Hopefully you'll find it. It's a small world, after all.
It's a small world after all. Okay, if I had to guess, if there would happen to be a globe, that's a small world, and I'm sure I've seen a globe somewhere, but I can't bloody remember where off the top of my head. Where was it? There was a globe somewhere, and also, what hint was that for exactly? Something to do with the caps? I may have just completely overlooked that previously. Right, I've got the room key. I'm going to just see if I can actually find myself a globe as well, or maybe a snow... there's a globe. Globe. No. Yes. Oh, I was so proud of myself for a second there, but it turns out to not be the answer. Unless there's a second one. Ooh, but there is a printing card, so it wasn't entirely a waste. Aha! Utility room key. It was straight next to a globe. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, we've got ourselves... Where was the utility room? Here we go. Right. Utility room. So we're starting to crack open some doors around here. Question is, what's the point of this place? Well, ooh. A melted pile of caps. Oh, this is presumably... Yeah, I must have actually just, like, skipped a stage in his little chase quest to actually find the caps. Oh, you melted them. Boo. Oh. So it seems like Roland melted the caps into a worthless pile of scrap and then tried to send me off on a massive fetch quest to track them down because Roland's a massive, massive dick. Gotcha. But if I happen to need to repair anything at some point with parts, keep in mind there's a good number of parts here. And I guess at the bare minimum I do still get some flipping caps here. I've still got a handful. Fine, Roland, you're a dick. Now, straight round to, yeah, let's start with Arthur, because sometimes Arthur gives you some interesting information to kick you off. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Actually, Arthur doesn't have anything to say about this, which is odd, because I could have sworn there was actually an optional objective to speak to him about it, but no, don't close the door in my face. I don't think that's Roland upstairs doing that. Also, can I get myself... actually, you know what? I'll save up my printing cards and I'll do a perk buying session later. And Roland, I've found the caps, you bastard.
Congratulations on solving a riddle made for a small child. You're the best.
And yes, indeed, you played me big time. And yes, one day I'll make you regret this, you bastard.
Revenge? Really? Don't you think you've wasted enough of your time on this vindictive bullshit? It'll never end well for you. My advice? Start doing something useful with that pitiful life already.
I am going to shoot you before the end of this, and I'm guessing you're not going to answer any questions about Darren.
Oh, sure. I knew from the first second this guy was bad news. Just like you, as a matter of fact. So I gave him a well-deserved hard time. He didn't even seem to mind that much, though. Isn't that interesting? No man with a clear conscience can put up with little old me.
Okay, and what exactly do you mean?
Surprise visits, my man. I knock on the door in the middle of the night and ask him what time it was. And then when he just began answering, I'm like, it's surprise visit time! And every goddamn time, he'd open the door and let me inspect the room, and that's how I knew he was up to no good. Anybody normal wouldn't have put up with this. In the end, he didn't even answer what time it was anymore. He would just mumble, surprise visit time, and let me in. What a fool.
Alright, interesting. And why are you actually choosing to give me details when previously you refused?
Well, I just love to brag.
Fair enough, I guess. And go on, there is actually an intelligence check here. Can you tell me why you thought he was up to no good beyond just the fact he played along?
I remember that one time he didn't answer the door right away. I heard a very loud noise, and then a bump. The whole thing was muzzled by the door, so I couldn't quite make out what it was.
Okay, him maybe trying to hide something. Got it. And thanks very much for being helpful.
Well, of course I've been helpful. I'm a gift from the heavens, after all.
Blimey, I hate Roland. Right, now let's just quickly check the ledger. So Darren is room 3. Fine, and I've got the key already. Here we go, N3, right here. Right by the entrance. So, we've got ourselves, activate what remains of a sheet of paper. Sheet of paper here, so practices writing. Something in the corner catches your attention anyway in the corner. A plus 1 equals B. Carefully writing my thoughts as they come. By writing, I ensure I'm learning what stays in my mind. So I write again and again and again. Okay. And then A. Fine. So he's just literally practicing writing. It does rather appear he was actually learning to write. Let's see if we can... Oh! Okay, that one's a bit more detailed. Maybe come back to that one at the end, because all the rest of them seem to be... Yeah, basic stuff here. A weird dream about thoughts falling out of his head and paper being shoved back in by his mother, who began singing erotic sounds. Okay. Not quite sure what's going on here. And confirmation, yeah, he learnt about explosives from his parents as he went scavenging in old world ruins. And one of the weapons he once found could have destroyed an entire town, so his mother destroyed it. And here's something fun, a marker on a Pip-Boy not far from the library. Map marker added. Darren's stash. Right. And yeah, there's a couple of other places I must have just picked up in general, but indeed it is just right outside. Alright, well let's just keep looking around first. Ah, I'm tired of playing dumb. They probably imagine I couldn't write or read a single word before I came to their library, where I've been keeping a journal since I was 7. Right, so he's just been faking that he was illiterate. That's probably what the bumping was, hiding the real journal in case they came snooping and playing dumb with Roland. In the end, yeah, he wanted to get into the armory, but couldn't, so he just left because he was worried about the Night Stalkers. Intriguing. So yeah, he was just faking being illiterate and leaving all these fake little, tests of writing by the door just to fool them. Except, of course, there are some real ones mixed in. And some mysterious messages that may or may not be relevant in the future. Figures couldn't have done shit for them even if I had been a doctor. Maybe a hint as to what ultimately happens to his parents. Hard to say. Now, bathroom. Once again, couldn't make sense of anything that big-ass computer Arthur told me. Still think there's some kind of pattern, some secret hidden in all his stories. I just don't know what it is, and I still went through every book on the encryption methods I could find, to no avail. Alright, I hid a strange key card in a broken terminal there. Roland doesn't bother me when I'm in the computer room anyway. I should consider hiding more things there. Strange key card, broken terminal, Arthur. Alright, well that is very much of use, and let's get that. The card cache's rights. So, and of course, none of them work. One on a planter, one with a chessboard, one on a typewriter, one on biology, one on chemistry, one in a case of fire, presumably the fire box is where the nozzles are, behind a jukebox. I think that's printing cards, because I've already found several of those, like the one on the typewriter and the one behind the jukebox. So I'm pretty sure that is not key cards, that's printing cards. Fine. Well, I think we know what we need to know here for the time being. He was, just having a little loopsy round. Let's now start cashing some of that in. So, back to the computer room. And if I just find myself a broken terminal, potentially now spawned in, there might be... Hang on, that's a broken terminal, alright, but nothing in there. Hang on. Look around all of them. Must be in here somewhere. Here we go. I'm pretty sure that wasn't there before, but, that's actually a printing card. Fine. So he actually means the cards, not the key cards. Well, bare minimum, at least we've got ourselves a new printing card there. And while I'm downstairs, I'm just going to quickly swing outside and check his stash. Because he seemed obsessed with weapons and whatnot. Let's see what he had. Now, it looks to me like the stash should be somewhere very, very close by to here. Potentially, hang on, where's it going to be? Somewhere, well, it claims I've discovered his stash. Have I? Oh, there's something down over here. This should be it. Yes, here we go. So, and Night Stalker tail. So that might be what happens to him ultimately. But, bare minimum, we can learn a bit more about this guy from a few more notes. So he used to romanticize the old world, but all the books he reads, horrible stuff that happened in the old world, they just kind of depressed him a bit. And nothing we didn't already know there. He had some of his explosives confiscated, but he actually, got compensated in some way for it. Not quite sure what with, maybe this food. And he said then he wanted to hit the road, but the Night Stalker remains around here, suggest maybe he died in a fight. You blew it up and forgot, you silly flip. Just, he got drunk. And that explains why he was trying to blow up the books. Because he just basically completely gave up on the old world that he used to love. Got it. And one more person we definitely want to speak to before we actually report into James, of course. Helena at the clinic. We need to have a chat with her and figure out, what exactly was going on with this guy, if she's willing to tell me. I mean, I feel like we've solved most of the mystery already, but it will be interesting to see if she can, add any context to it.
Forgive me if I'm being too inquisitive, but the scar on your forehead, it is recent, isn't it?
Yeah, I was shot in the head, it's fine. And apparently she actually wants to, examine it, so fair enough. Let's see if you can do a better job than Doc Mitchell.
First, let me ask you, under which circumstances were you wounded?
I was a little bit on the shot side, and yep, I'm going to tell you the whole story.
That's quite a story, I must say. And quite a miracle you didn't die. Let's have your head scanned now. Please sit comfortably while I prepare the procedure.
Alright, and you actually need me to know fade to black. And what can you tell me, if anything?
Oh, you're awake. For now, the results are rather encouraging. It doesn't seem that you sustained major damage, though I fear there may be some complications.
Okay, what exactly are you referring to?
People suffering from brain trauma often encounter a wide range of personality and coordination disorders, as well as language impairment issues, social disinhibitions, and in some cases, extraordinary risk-taking, as well as a dangerous tendency to transgress rules.
Oh my goodness, I've been shot into being a protagonist.
Did you observe any of those symptoms?
Yes, basically literally all of them. Okay, yeah, this is a quite good little bit of meta-humor here. I can basically just describe the process of being a Fallout protagonist. Can't speak very long sentences and I have trouble staying focused. I often put everything on hold and just go wandering off. Marvellous. So come on, Doctor, is this a fatal case of protagonistism?
Well, gosh. No, it's okay. I should be able to provide you with something that will help you hold up until you get better. Yes, better. When you told me what happened to you, there was one thing that bothered me. Your decision to go after the people who ambushed you. Did you ask yourself why you began chasing the person that nearly killed you? Especially considering how close he was to succeeding.
Every time I close my eyes, I see little quest markers in front of my face. It's terrifying. And apparently this actually activates a full quest, so she's told me to go get a book from Roland, so I may go pick that up at some point. But let's move on to why I'm actually flipping here. We actually need to ask about Darren Andretti.
He was one of my patients. As such, there is some information I'm not allowed to tell you.
Alright, tell me what's not confidential.
He was a young man who hadn't reached his 20s yet. By his own admission, he had a restless personality, a temper that didn't go well with community life. That's why he chose to become a prospector. He couldn't read at first, but during his stay here, he worked very hard and quickly became quite literate. Almost too quickly.
And yeah, we know that was a fake, of course, and he came to speak to you.
As a matter of fact, yes. Even out of our therapy sessions, he would often bring me books for me to read. The first times he asked was because he didn't know how to read. The next because he simply enjoyed hearing me, he said.
Intriguing, and what kind of books?
Poetry and songbooks. It didn't matter to him that I couldn't sing. For some reason, said readings would make Roland come all the way here.
Well, that's interesting. Roland coming over when he seems to hate everything and everyone.
Yes, I believe I still have one of those around.
And any chance you could just give me, the title first?
The Kick Inside. That's because it's kind of visceral, I suspect.
Here we go. Read me a sample, please.
Well, why not? I'm enjoying reading poetry to our guests. The thought of you sends me shivery. I'm dressed in lace, sailing down a black reverie. My heart is thrown to the pebbles and the boatman. All the time I find I'm living in that evening with that feeling of sticky love inside.
Intriguing. I wonder if Roland has a bit of a thing for Helena.
Anytime. I'm happy you were interested in it.
Alright, and while we're actually here, the scribe by any chance?
I can't say I had much contact with him. First time I saw him, he simply glanced over the installations and shrugged it off. The rest of his time was spent with books and research. If I'm not mistaken, he left some of his notes in the classroom.
Yep, and I've already seen that too. And as for Roger Erickson?
He was an agreeable man. I remember having nice conversations with him about varieties of subjects. He was very curious about us. He was nice enough to treat me like a person, and sometimes like a lady. It's not that much the way he treated me that I found kind, but the intention behind it. On a more general observation, he seemed to want to make the best of his time here.
Alright, intriguing, and I think that's all I can learn from you for the time being. So I think we've actually got a pretty big picture there, but we've also learnt something new. We need to go and speak to Roland about that book and maybe dig into if he has got a crush on Helena, if he even can. You know what, I'm skipping straight to Roland here, because Roland, my good man, I think I'm interested in whether you want to be up in a tree with Helena, Kissing. No, actually I can't challenge him about that just yet, but yeah, Helena asked me to get a book off you, The Count of Ponte Risco.
Yeah, I was. I couldn't get what it was about. Do you need it for something? It's around here somewhere.
Yeah, go on then, I'll be having it though. Yeah, why did Helena give it to you?
Hell if I know. Did she expect me to have some kind of life-changing epiphany? Some transfigurative moment that changes me forever from a petty angry piece of garbage? Well, not so, my ugly friend. I have my own favorite reads.
Okay, interesting. And when you say it's around here somewhere, any clue?
It's on a table downstairs. Probably.
Okay, table downstairs, probably. Not very helpful. Also worth noting that for the moment at least, I can't actually challenge Roland about the star I found. So we're still just gathering evidence about that. Table downstairs, he suggested. I'll need to keep an eye out for that book. Because, yeah, it seems like in this mod, stuff only actually spawns in once you know you're supposed to be looking for it. So, it might now show up somewhere where it wasn't before. Well, I think we've got all the information we can get about that guy for now. I'm going to return to James and turn it all in. But as I get into more and more trouble with Roland, James, what's your take on Roland? Because Helena gave me a little bit of advice. Maybe you can give me some more.
Oh, no. What did he do?
And yeah, tell him the whole story about everything that's been going on with Roland so far.
Weapon repair kit, huh? I never understood why he was asking for those. We're getting regular maintenance from the maintenance bots.
Yeah, but if he had a weapon that he wasn't supposed to have... And yeah, there's also a bit of some strange sexual stuff going on too.
I never understood that either. We're not supposed to have any kind of sexual drive.
Alright, so go on. What can I do to get information out of him?
He's, rather condescending towards humans. It's probably because he thinks he has nothing to learn from outsiders. Books and all. Having this much knowledge at our disposal makes us rather confident. You know what? Our master has a trick to make him speak the truth. Roland is prideful. He might be willing to forfeit that trick to you if you show him he somehow has something to learn from you. After all, we do value the exchange of knowledge around here.
That's intriguing. So if I could just demonstrate that I actually need to, teach him something, could be very, very useful indeed. Well, you know what? I will give it a go. I'm rather interested if maybe I can get Roland to open up and be at least a little bit more helpful to me. Alright, let's see if I can make this happen and put him back in his place.
That sounds like a challenge. You want to fight? I built a Thunderdome out back. Wait, I got a basketball. How about a game of horse? Checkers? Hey, if you back out, you busted deal, face the wheel.
And alright, a challenge. Time to dismantle your contorted rhetorics.
Let's up the ante. If you convince me that I have something to learn from the outside people, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Anything. If you don't or get sidetracked, well, you lose the bet. Let's say 100 caps. First try's on me, though. Here you go. Hit me.
Alright, so, pictures on the wall, upside down, the sky's the other way. That's true. For starters, you're not ready for the outside world and its dangers. Yeah, let's start with the pictures here. So, pictures on the wall, they all seem to be a little bit upside down.
Like you're in any position to know what art is, you savage. The picture right behind the counter, that spiral thing, you know what that is?
Ooh. Interesting, and, well, apparently, thanks to my high intelligence, I do actually know that that's Botticelli's Chart of Hell, though I would not have gone for that. I'd have just said, like, a beehive or something. So, I've created a character cleverer than me.
Okay, smarty pants, you got me, but what does it prove?
Humans think at a higher plane than you do. You can't even make sense of landscapes. You're the one stressed out by the importance of these paintings. You can't back off that easily. yeah, that potentially things like landscapes are a bit difficult for you to deal with. Robots are very good at some things, very bad at others.
Hey, I can think fourth dimensionally, so you just enjoy your landscapes, Dingleberry.
Alright, so nevertheless, people outside can actually recognise where the sky's on a painting. I just know that I'm the one living outside. I know the people out there. You're the one who stressed the importance of these paintings. Yes, people outside can actually do what I'm doing. Just standard stuff humans are good at.
Well, holy shit, is my face red. I've been humiliated.
And I'll take it that you're going to be more cooperative now? Probably not, but I live in hope.
Since I pity you, I guess I will. And to prove I'm a bot of his words, I have a super special keyword. If you want me to tell you the truth about something, you just say, "Pray tell," in your question. Happy now?
Ooh, very much so, in fact. So, do you not see the sign is apparently actually now complete? Which is lovely, and yeah, that's actually very kind of you. Almost a bit suspiciously generous.
Well, the truth is a bitch, human. Don't think your life will be all cushions, sweets, and daffodils when I tell you what's really going on.
Ooh, okay. This is intriguing. Let's just quickly try this one out here. What do you think of me, pray tell?
Well, you smell, you're always meddling in things either beyond or below your reach. You got some skill, you're persistent. I kinda like you, but kinda hate you at the same time.
Alright, fair enough. We're making progress with Roland at this point, and yeah, I'm guessing this was like a failsafe put in to make sure that your master Cartwright could actually get a straight answer out of you if it was important for something.
Well, I'm sure you can guess. I lied one too many times, and our master wigged out on me and neutered my mojo with his repulsive safe word. What a pussy.
Alright, well, I am sure I will use and abuse this. So let's start off with the mercenary stuff here. Pray tell, did you actually melt those bloody caps so now I can't have them?
I should have seen that coming. They're in room number 6. Here, take the key. You deserved it, I guess. You scumbag.
Nice, got the key to a new room. Very, very nice indeed. And pray tell, let's dig back into James and presumably you being jealous of his relationship with Cartwright.
Because he was our master's favorite. Simple as that. He was always just smiles and rainbows. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Alright, so I guess that makes sense. That's probably what we were expecting.
Think, dipshit. Our master was a patronizing know-it-all jackass. Who do you think he'd prefer? The smart, witty, handsome, honest robot? A docile little dove, a humorless monolith? Or the overeager little pupil, so eager to please?
Alright, so James' favourite because he asked questions. Except he only asked questions because Cartwright made him ask questions, so that doesn't seem quite right, really.
Hey, well, it's not that simple. Helena would always bring him comfort, Edgar would always flatter his ego, while I would always naturally try to bring it down. But James, he's not like the rest of us. He always found the most unsettling question for our master. He always found something to make him stop and ask himself if he was doing the right thing. So yes, our master loved to expose his knowledge and flaws, but not as much as he'd like to doubt it. What a weakling, right?
Alright, and that makes, yeah, James make a bit more sense. Useful. That's why he asked the questions. Right, well that's all we can get out of you for now. Off to room 6. Although, hello. I can't help but notice, down on the compass over there, there's something. Ah! Okay. It's fine. I was worried there for a minute. Gone away. Hello. And doesn't actually want to have a chat at all. But are you like the others or something different?
Please move along. If you have any questions, James on the first floor will be happy to answer.
There's something weird about these guys because we know the only robots that can go outside of the maintenance bots, and at least one of them has been setting up graves at some point. So, you came in here, except actually, I assumed you'd have cleaned up, but you didn't. At all. I'm slightly suspicious of the fact you're here. Ooh, and the terminal's chatting to me. Good, I thought this terminal would have a chat at some point. Making progress. Cartwright's legacy. And, well, I've chatted with all of the robots. Honestly, I haven't really come across much yet. I mean, I'm piecing together that they seem to be related to people he used to know. They all had specific functions in terms of stuff that he needed for mental stimulation to keep him sane, but haven't really come up with a grand strategy, conspiracy, whatever yet. And I'm blind if that answers some of your questions. So you again, who are you? Things need to get better. It all boils down to one thing, though. You finding it and giving it to the others. And who are you? Are you a person or a robot hidden somewhere? I'm a terminal. Is that it? Okay. I'm not sure. Well, it's not that I won't do anything. I can't do anything until you explain better. And everything else is irrelevant. Find it okay. We'll talk again. And oh. Alright. Cut off the conversation before I was done. Don't trust you one flipping bit. 5 we've already opened up. Was this was 8 down here. Yeah, that's 8 down here. So that is 7. And where is 6? Presumably this one around here-ish. There we go. Room 6 and not a trap. Marvellous. Ooh, bottle caps. Not a stupid number, you can get way more just from gambling, but a nice little extra, a good nice to have. And a printing card, arguably even more flippin' valuable. Check the bathroom as well, just to make sure there's nothing hidden away in here, but looks all quiet to me. Marvellous. So how many rooms do we have left that we actually can't open just with lockpick? Because this was the, this is average. That one over there is hard. I think there's a... This one was very hard. There was one that was very hard somewhere at some point. One's already open over there. Then we've got, 3's already been open, 2. That was down. And then 2... Yeah. This one was labelled as skin cancer in the ledger. So, I'm half suspicious. Maybe there's like a glowing one locked in there, or just some radioactive waste or something. Not sure. Still, back downstairs, back down to James. We need to have a chat about the guy, because I think we've found out just about as much as I can figure out. I think I understand him pretty well at this point. So, the Andretti case.
Yes?
And we have started to, figure some stuff out here. So, he definitely wasn't actually illiterate. He was actually very clever. He was just pretending to be illiterate to get your attention and just pass under your notice.
That's quite a disappointment, I must admit. But that doesn't explain why he wanted to wreck it. Maybe there's something we missed. I hope he still managed to get something out of his time among us. Anyway, your work is very beneficial for us. This is a small reward compared to the help you're providing.
Oh, do I actually get to... No, I can't tell you any more. I do actually know the truth. Yeah, he just became very illusioned with the old world and the old world knowledge hidden in these books, hence why he tried to destroy them. Oh well, probably best James doesn't know that. He's had a bit of a hard time of late.
Thank you very much.
And any chance... Ooh, another 300 XP, lovely. Any chance that you want to... Yeah, you totally want me to move straight on to the next one. So, who's up next? By any chances it's Cecilia Parsons, because I saw that name in the ledger.
This case is a little bit different than the others. This time I'll ask you to get the opinion of one of our current residents, a man named Robson.
Wait, hang on. Who's Robson? By any chance, is he a ghoul and is he in room 2? Right. Who else is here?
Yes, he's still with us. Given his cautious nature, it's not a surprise you haven't met him yet. He always tries to keep clear from new guests, and even from us lately. I thought he stayed here only to sate his curiosity, but given his recent behavior, I'm starting to wonder if there's anything else behind it. From what I gathered, being a ghoul is not the fairest of fates.
Oh yeah, he's glowing and he is in room 2, and generally that's bad news. How are you sure he's still here?
For one thing, our food supply has been consumed on a regular basis, and I'm taking into account your own ruthless appetite.
Alright, but I haven't seen any indication of him at all.
Exactly. Many of our guests leave some kind of trace during their stay here. He should be of no exception. For example, I remember he tends to forget his glasses everywhere. Memory troubles, I believe. And he also has a tendency to say some pretty weird things from time to time.
Alright, like what? This could be useful for tracking him down.
Every once in a while, he would stand up there on the second floor, point his finger at me, and make prophetic declarations. Something like, "Autumn leaves never stop falling," or "The strings are cut, but you still dance." Confusing, I know. Good thing I cannot dream, because I would have had nightmares.
Okay, interesting. And you could be doing this yourself. Yeah, this feels like something you could definitely do yourself. This is within the library.
Touché! But it's not as if I didn't try to find him. He must be somewhere I can't reach.
Alright, and if he's a ghoul, any chance he's dangerous?
I don't know what kind of answer I can give. Does he look dangerous? No. Does he have a knife? Yes. Yes, he does. I should have mentioned that before.
Okay, so a little bit on the dangerous side here. And yeah, give me some leads here. Where he went, robots he liked.
I really don't see him much. For all I know, he could be hiding in a toilet or behind some bookshelf. I really couldn't find him anywhere. I sometimes hear footsteps in the nearby corridors, though maybe one of my siblings is bound to know something, since we don't have feet. It is kind of suspicious.
Well, hang on. You've got feet, and so does Roland and Helena. No, you've made a massive mistake here. Fair enough, I'll get on it, but this one is a little bit, yeah, worrying.
I wish you luck anyways.
And anything else from you? I think we're okay. And yeah, that's just actually giving you information, but I don't know anything just yet. So new quest, a fella on a furlough. Interesting. So his whereabouts, someone may know where he is. Look for his belongings. Now, glasses were mentioned to us, that he leaves his glasses around somewhere. So, yeah, probably a good starting point. Ask the other 3 robots, see if they've heard anything. Look around for some glasses, see what we can do. But now I've actually got the pray tell keyword for Roland. He'll hopefully actually be much more cooperative if he is actually involved. But I'm very suspicious of room 2 that was labelled skin cancer in the ledger. I'm very suspicious there's a glowing one in there, and we'll actually come down to the first fight of this mod. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say that's enough for now. We'll hold things off here. Oh, this is lovely. This is just so nicely put together. The script and the voice acting and the skill checks and the special checks and all the rest of it. There's so much here I really, really like. This has just been so well put together. Exactly what I was looking for. This is just absolutely flipping marvellous. This is the sort of thinking that Bethesda could absolutely do with a little of. Because this has just been... yeah, this has just been absolutely lovely so far. Absolutely flipping lovely. So, we will crack on with this next week. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been Fallout New Vegas with Autumn Leaves. Thank you very much, and goodbye. We've all learnt a valuable lesson here. When people have the zombie plague, don't allow them into confined spaces with you. We should just actually, like, use cannons. Do we have cannons? Use the cannons. Oh, they've got a big hammer. That's what the noise is. And a pirate's just rammed them. Okay, I think we're in a traffic jam on the sea.